No, I ain't no Albert Einstein. I just feel that something's wrong.
But anyway, my name is Raman Annamaraju. I'm the MedBix webcast host. I am Today we have that I'm going to talk about a very special woman in the history from the history, and then she's so relevant, and she is a very one of the Me Too movement. As you all know, that you claim that a lot of women are it's doing that. But one thing in science, Me Too movement is so critical and so important. That's what I want to promote. Me Too in science and medicine. That is actually the person I'm going to talk about. It is that she's a very important figure, but she was trivialized in the history. So I want to bring her what she did to the history of medicine, history of science itself, and mathematics. But there is a Russia and Ukraine. There is a war going on between Russian troops. Are partial mobilization is happening right now. That means it is a large number of mobile the deploying several things are deployed in the several being deployed right now in the Ukrainian borders. So it is a very situation and dangerous situation. Russia is in way right now attacking the Ukraine, whatever the reasons are, but it is a very tense situation there. But this is not the first time happened. It was happened in 1853 and 1856. The hard zone right now in happened in 1853 is a Crimean War. Crimean Peninsula is a hard zone. The Russia and Ukraine, the central hard zone was Crimean Peninsula. So Russia right now, that is what they want to do. They wanted to establish autonomous situation there in the Crimea. Ukraine wants that Crimea back. All kinds of things are going on there. But in 1853, it's exactly happened. Ukrainian population at the time there was no country Ukraine. Ukraine was ruled by Ottoman Empire, is actually Turkey, basically present day Turkey. It was ruled by Turkey was Ottoman Empire was Ottoman was the king ruler, but they didn't have the enough army to fight against Russia. Russia was a stronger army, so they didn't have enough. So they asked England to help them, England and France. So English came to rescue for to the Turkish Ottoman Empire because to against the Russians. The reason was one of the reason English went into war against Russia in 1853 in the Crimean War was because of India. They are afraid India was a prized position for England, and they are afraid that Russia is going to occupy India. That was one of the real fear for them, that they're going to lose the prized position. India at the time, India was highly cultured, and at the time it is a huge country, and it was a big thing. So they were afraid, and they deployed all the forces. England is the one put a lot more forces in the Ottoman in the Crimean across the Black Sea. If you see the map, if I show you a map, that's where right now the war is going on at the same place. The Crimean Peninsula is there. Across the Black Sea is Turkey. So that was the war going. That is a war in 1850, the Crimean War. It is a modern war, the first modern war in the history. They have they have a telegraph, they have telecommunications. They started telegraph they were using at the time, and then they have a railways. The transport all the mobilizing all the supply chain and the troops, and then they have naval shells. These are huge shells. They can blast off into other. So it's kind of a modern war, first modern war in the human civilization. In fact, so the destructive forces are very first time it joined in the process. Um, then England, what happened was it is a technical, is a logistical, medical, tactical failure. It was a failure on all fronts. Russians, I tell you, the 500,000 people dead and a massive number of injured. Remember, this is in 1853. 500,000 is like 10 million probably for right the extrapolate the population. It is that many people die. Okay, so So mostly, but you know what is the surprising thing? They did not die from the war. Mostly dead from the diseases. It's a medical failure. Crimean War was a medical failure, not a tactical. Not a military failure. It's a medical failure. The first time humanity recognized, the countries recognized medical aspects of the war. That's the first time they realized that part. That's where the Florence Nightingale is the one that I'm going to talk about. She was born in 1820. She's 19. She was died at 1910. She lived a long life, but a privileged intellect. She came from a very aristocratic family from England. She's a global citizen. She was born in Italy, in Florence. That's why she got the name Florence. She was born in Florence actually, and and then she's a British origin. Her father was a diplomat there in Italy, and she went to school in Germany. She studied nursing. Nursing was not a popular at the time. It's a menial kind of a job. Nursing is never considered at the time any professional job. That is a very menial, man is a laborious labor kind of a job that was very looked down upon. So but she went to Germany, Kaiserwerth Hospital, Lutheran Hospital. She went to residency there. So she did the program in nursing. But when she was growing up, she learned a lot of mathematics actually. So that is a so what she did was she took she graduated from the German medical the nursing school, and then she was from aristocratic family. She took a huge nursing team, 38 members of the nurses from her school and from England. She took to Crimean War, in the front lines of the Crimean War. She took them to all of them deployed there. Then she was horrified to see the conditions. That she arrived at 21st October 1854. She arrived in Istanbul. That's present day Istanbul, Turkey. She arrived with the 38 nurses from to Istanbul in 1854. Okay, so she deployed the medical team, but it is she was horrified to see the medical conditions, the all the usual suspects of the deaths, typhoid, typhus, cholera, malaria are all killing. 25% of the deaths, not in the war, is because of the injuries and the diseases. Because of the diseases that people are dying. So that is one thing she understood. She has a very statistical background. She has learned statistics until then is on the tables. They were running a lot of tables in statistics. She learned from her father, and there is a mathematics teacher she is a home studied statistics and mathematics. She's a very good student of mathematics. So what she did was she saw the horrified conditions in the Crimean War and in Istanbul. Then what she did was she created a pie chart. First time she popularized a pie chart. Okay, so nobody knows until that pie chart was invented by somebody. He was an unknown guy. Nobody famous. She single-handedly made the famous pie chart. Nobody knows. Actually, she created her own chart. It's called a road chart. Road chart is a circular diagram. It's like a piece of pie. And you see that. What she showed in that pie chart is a very astonishing. What she was showing. She created a first visualization of the data analytics. She created first time. What she was, all the green, all the blue things you're seeing, and the inside that you see the pink color, they're actual deaths from the war itself, from the injuries from the war. The blue ones, the blue pies, are all due to the deaths due to the diseases. They outnumbered, outweighed, outpaced the number of deaths in the middle of the war itself. So what she demonstrated, what she told the England, these not the Russians are not killing the English British soldiers. The British are killing the British soldiers. We're not taking care of these diseases. That's what she said, and she created this pie chart. And she took to the Westminster Hall. She's a powerful lobbyist. Florence Nightingale, not only is she the mathematician, she's a lobbyist, powerful lobbyist. She took this pie chart. She was walking around the Westminster Hall and then talking with all the politicians. They hated to see her, because she said that if you're not going to see that, I'm going to tell the public you're the ones who killing the British soldiers, not the Russians, because of the diseases they're dying in the large numbers. So they were afraid of her. Actually, it's very strange. She was in 1854. This is the woman who made the. She said that in one time, if there is a chance, the general cut me into pieces. That's what she said. So she was kind of a. She was a very. She was very powerful lobbyist in that sense. She lobbied and she went to the Queen Victoria at the time. Queen Victoria, she was there, and then she was lobbying, and she got the funding to build a new hospital. But that is what she got. She got the funding for the hospital. So she went back to the Istanbul. She built the so actually the pie charts became so famous in our Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. Atlanta. W.B. Du Bois actually used a pie chart in the 1900 Paris exhibition to demonstrate the discrimination between the blacks and whites, the discrimination of the blacks in the South. He took the book from the chart from the Florence Nightingale. He replicated the process again, and he credited Florence Nightingale for her that contribution for that. So that was a very popular chart in Paris exhibition, world exhibition in the 1900. So that's what happened was this. She built the hospital. So it's called Scutari Hospital in Istanbul, Turkey. It is so she expanded the hospital into she put the big windows. Open sun is the sun itself is a sun rays or light rays or itself healing the wounds, healing the stuff. That's what she did. She understood the effect of natural light on the health itself. Now Scientific American magazine actually published recently a tribute to the Florence Nightingale, how she contributed for the architecture of the hospitals itself. Not only she's a brilliant scientist. What she did was she came up with the science. At that time, she took the carbon. She wanted to measure the carbon dioxide in the rooms in the hospital itself. What she did was she took a lime water and run through the special process, and then you put the air inside, and the amount of the precipitation that comes to the white milky thing is coming on the right side. It shows that the amount of the carbon dioxide there. So what she's saying is you need to maintain 2,500 to 5,000 cubic feet per hour. That circulation has to be done. She came up with the first time in the human history the science behind the architecture of the hospital. She's a serious architect. Actually, Scientific American country, gave a very powerful testimony in the sense that she is really a genesis for the hospital architecture. Then she employed science. She deployed science and everything. She brought it down the mortality rate from 65% to 2%. She demonstrated with the pie chart again drastic reduction in the deaths. There's clean sanitations. She deployed sanitation and all the things she did, and she was doing all those things. But so she drastically reduced. Another thing she did, Renshaw Hospital is a prefabric. She was the first woman who instrumental in helping prefabricated hospital, field hospital. At the time, there is no concept of field hospital. She came up with a prefabricated hospitals. They made it in England. They transported to Turkey, and they deployed right out in the front lines of the war. So that's what the power of the nine. She's a prolific writer. She's Florence Nightingale. She wrote 2 books, notes on nursing, notes to the hospitals. She told exactly what his hospital should look like. Chumroy Hospital in Richmond, Virginia, followed that exactly the notes from the Florence Nightingale text. They followed it and they built the hospital based on Florence Nightingale principles. So she's a prolific writer. She became the genesis for all the nursing, not only nursing, she became architect for all the hospitals. So during the Civil War, in the United States, both sides, Confederate and Union, followed the hair. She supplied to both of them, and then she said that you need to follow certain rules of the hospital architecture and the principles of nursing nursing the wounded soldiers. So after that, then she was, I'll tell you, she is how powerful this woman is. She understood the interoperability. Now, healthcare is, everybody talks about interoperability because EMR, electronic medical records, because you need to talk between the hospital systems to the doctors to the patients. It's a big mess. And no, every EMR, they think they're their own country. They don't want to communicate each other. So what she did was she created a uniform printed forms in the 1854. She went back to England. Health was going down. She went back to England, and then she installed the interoperability standards, healthcare uniform, health hospital printed forms, uniform standards. She deployed the uniform standards in the London hospitals. She's the first one understood the interoperability better than anybody. She's the first woman or first man, doesn't matter. First human being understood the value of the data collection, the value of the interoperability. She understood, and she did that. She collected the meticulous. She is a meticulous in collecting the data. In fact, so Silicon Valley people like the data. They build these platforms, but there is no data there for the healthcare. That's a big problem right now. If there is a data, Dr. Matthew says. So actually, believe this or not, she was a Royal Society. She was a member and a founder of the Royal Statistical Society. She was instrumental in forming statistics in the army, in the Department of Army, and also she was a statistics. She did the Royal Statistical Society. She was instrumental in forming the society, and then American Statistical Society gave her honorary membership. The president went to England because she could not able to travel to the United States. So he went to England and gave her the degree, gave her the honorarium for her to American Statistical Society, honored her, gave her honorary membership in the American Statistical Society. And she's a mathematician to the core. People, a lady, so if anybody says lady with a lamp is a very trivializing what she did. So she was a founder of a medical tourism. You're all talking about medical tourism. Actually, she was the founder of medical tourism. She was telling everybody from Switzerland, the costs are very high in Switzerland at the time. What she said that go to Turkey and it's a lot cheaper and the hospitals are good. And she was promoting the medical tourism among the Europeans to go to Turkey. So she was a founder of the medical tourism, in fact. So she did so many things. But she was fighting the bipolar depression. She's bouts of depression she faced. We can talk with Anita about that. How she can be happy, but she was facing a lot of. She was going through a lot of bouts of depression during the process. Catherine Wisner from Houston, from the Baylor Medical School, she was post-diagnosis, of course, but is all documented. She went through lots of bouts of depressions. She was not married and she didn't have any kids. But I don't know the reasons but definitely she went through a lot of mental depression. But but on the top of it, she's a prolific statistician, mathematician, nurse, architect, and reformer. Above all, she's a very compassionate woman. When one day, one prostitute asked her, that in England, am I going to hell because my profession? Am I going to hell? She asked Florence Nightingale. What Florence Nightingale answer was? the God is more compassionate than any other human being. Don't think these trivial humans can judge you. The God is a lot more and bigger compassionate than all the human beings. That's what she's answered. She was extremely compassionate woman. She said that, she was a voice for the people who are dead because of the diseases. So I stand at the altar of the. She said that I stand at the altar of the murdered men. While I live, I fight their cause. So I fight their cause of the people who are murdered in the war. She was saying people are unnecessarily killed in the war. The murder, she considered that as a murder. So that is, I fight their cause. That's what she's saying. So she is a compassionate woman. So Florence Nightingale is one of my favorite, you know, accolades. Or a lot of even nurses don't know what is their background is. A lot of mathematicians don't know. A lot of the medical people don't know what is their real background is. She's a prolific public health researcher. The first, I would say, she's the mother and father of the public health research. She collected meticulous data. She created interoperability systems. I think we need to pay tribute to the Florence Nightingale. I want to bring her into not just a lamp, she's a lady with a lamp, very trivializing, one of the most powerful women in the history of medicine. I think we need to follow, we need to give her accolades on that for her. She truly deserves it. Thank you for watching.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.